Okay, so now that I've talked about chapter 3, here is like a big summary of what we're going to do for chapter 3. So here I have all the different projects that the textbook has given me throughout chapter 3, and I just copied and pasted it and put it all together. But honestly, you can make your own numbers as well. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. You can put your own periods as well, and it does not have to look like this. Just as long as you have maybe at least 16 or 65 projects. Because remember, if you want to know how to choose an investment, you must compare at least 2. So right here, I'm going to do 16 projects. And the reason why I have them in different colors, I will explain that later. But I copied and pasted again over here to show you how can we get these numbers by using the present value formula. So you see right here, as I go through every number, they're just values with no formulas, no functions at all. So in this section, I will demonstrate how to get the same exact values by using the present value formula. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we do that, we have 6-year period. So let's not manually write the periods down, but let's add the cell that has 0, add that plus 1, and we're going to drag in that down. Just zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Excuse me. So let's start with project 1. I'm pretty sure by now you know the present value formula. So let's plug that in. Let's do the present value, the initial value, which would be 500 over the growth rate, which is 1, plus the discount rate of 15% over the number of periods. Press enter. And we get the same value. And since it's negative, it's supposed to be red. When it has parentheses, it means it's a negative number. But it's not red, but we can change that up here. Let's go to more number formats. It's currency, and see how there's an option to make it red. Let's click that and click OK. Now let's drag it down once, see if we have the correct formats. In order to make sure it's correct, click right here and see if you have any mistakes. Now clearly I have a mistake up here. I forgot to lock the discount rate. And if you don't lock it, we don't want you to drag it each time for every number to the correct cell. We would want to lock it. So we're going to put the $sign for the column and the $sign for the row. Let's drag it down one more time and see if we have it correct. Is this correct? Yes, we have the discount rate locked, and we want the initial values, the present values, and the periods to be changing, so we got it good. This means we can drag it down without hesitation. We can do the same thing for project 2, but instead of doing it column by column, we must lock the first project, cell B16, in order to drag it towards the right and not manually write the formula for each cell. So here, what do we have to lock? Well, let's see. Each column is changing except the year, the period 0. So what we have to lock is the row. I'm sorry, the column, in order to drag it towards the right. So press enter. Let's drag it just once to make sure we have that right. Looks like we do. One more time. And looks like we do. So now we can drag it all the way towards project 16, and we should get all the number values in the correct format and the correct values. Now let's go to cell C17 in project 2. Now we can do the same thing by locking again. We just have to make sure that everything in project 1 is in the correct locking format. Remember what I said in the previous row, that we have to lock the periods? So here we see that this row needs to be locked for each column in year 1. So again, we have to lock the column A, and we don't want to do this one by one like this. We want to do it for all the cells, all the rows in one shot. So in order to do that, we must lock each period by using the dollar sign. So we're going to drag this. And see how I dragged it and nothing's changed? That's because I've only locked the rows. If I put another dollar sign here, for instance, for the column, it will not be correct. And look, my values have changed because I've locked the period, the row, and the column just on the year 1. We don't want that. We have 6 years. So let's undo that. Okay, so now we will have to highlight everything, and now we can just drag this all in one shot, and there you have your values in just under a minute. But just to make sure, to see if we have the correct values for the formula, let's just click on any random cell. Let's go right here, project 11. Let's see if we're correct. L8 for periods, for cell L8 for the cash. For period 3, we got the same discount rate, and we're good to go. So there you go. Now that we have that done and set, we will now like to calculate the net present value for each project.